Every word, every comma, every letter in that book is a demonstration of boundless love for us. You don't read that often. We don't see that often. Yes.
As I said about this black, it's like a movie in your mind.
Family. I wrote an excellent novel. That's just a fact. It's outside. Buying this novel is not primarily about helping me to alert our family about this epic disaster. That's not what this is about. Okay? So you can go buy this book just because it's a great book. It's a wonderful novel. Read the reviews. If you have bought this book, then please come leave a review. I have no control over the Amazon reviews whatsoever. Okay? But it's an excellent book. The reviews are off the charts. You buy this book and you assist me in my endeavor, my determination to alert as many of our family as possible. Peace and blessings, family. Hold on, let me shut this down. Oh man, these are my favorite lives, is to do them with my king, and I'm so happy that he's agreed to do a live with me, especially on such an absolutely critical topic. So let me come on in, find you, and on such an okay. Wow, that was loud. Let me get the chat here. Peace, beloved Sister Negra Lopez, Nevatari Atenra, did Tristan Reed, Talisha Clark, Jasmine Virgo, and Emily Dooley. Good to see you, family. This is absolutely critical because this isn't just about grown-ups who have just that's your right to make whatever choice, be it asinine or nation saving, that you want to make. But this is about our children and the disturbing uptick in sexualizing children. And my king is just like put it out there that they can't accomplish it so well in the heterosexual realm, but there's this whole other realm where they're just making it look like it's so cute, it's so this, it's so that. So let me hit like on my own share, because that's a wonderful thing to just be here for your family. And I'm gonna go to the article that I actually don't have, where Gabrielle Union with stepson at Pride Parade. and just get the imagery there. We know what was going on, and it was just, I'm like, why you got on? I couldn't, if you didn't know that was a boy, you would think that was a girl from the way that he's just holding his whole body posture. And then he's got this colorful one on his, we know what this symbolizes. He's a unicorn. I guess so. They don't want him to be a unicorn. They want all of us to be following for this stuff. And it's just despicable. And I want to preface this by emphasizing we are not advocating violence against anybody. We are not even saying that full-on grown-ups don't have the right to determine for themselves the life they want to lead. Okay? We are simply analyzing the resultant outcome when you put sexualization in front of children. There are those who would want to swear that this is not sexual, but you're at the gay pride parade. I've never seen a gay pride parade that wasn't about sex. So, this is something that we have a right to analyze because we have children. And if we're supposed to protect our children against heterosexual sexual assaults, then I think we need to just go over number one, is this a sexualization in a homosexual way of children?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. What do you think this is? That's all it's about. This is advertising for black people. That's all this is. That's what they use these Negroes for. To advertise these ideals to you, people that you quote unquote look up to because you're star worshipers. You worship the stars. You don't worship the creator. You worship stars. That's why they put these people, these so-called stars in front of you. You're idolaters. All right? You're idolaters. You got you Gabrielle Union's lifestyle, Jay-Z's lifestyle. You idolize their lifestyle. So they put these ideas from their life in front of you to make you accept this culture in your family. That's all this is about. All right? That's why the scripture said, you're a wicked and idolatrous people. Right? You're wicked and idolatrous. So I put idols in front of you for you to worship. And so just as happened in the late 1960s, early 1970s, they took Huey and Malcolm and Elijah off your wall and put up Superfly and Pam Grier, and you put up Fred Williamson on your wall. Fantasy heroes you put up. You put up real live people that were working on your behalf and put up fantasy heroes on your wall.
Who do nothing for you.
Nothing, because they were paid for by your enemy.
Right.
They're not going to do nothing for you. They're doing something for the enemy. That's what they paid for. That's who paid for them. All right? So that's all you're dealing with. So these put these ideas in front of you. So now the ignorant amongst us, oh, this is how I got to do with my child now, because he seems to be a little fruity. You know what I'm saying? He's a little effeminate. Effeminate is not homosexual. Let's not get it twisted.
Tell him.
All right? Masculine is not lesbian. All right? These are two different things here.
Right.
All right? A woman can be masculine in her attitude towards things, and a man can be effeminate in his attitude towards things. That don't mean that they're homosexual. Right. All right? So that's what they're doing. They're confusing the issue for you.
Wow.
All right? Because with confusion comes control. If I can confuse you, I can control you. So it's about controlling the lifestyle of the youth and of the parents and the youth. Mostly the youth, though, because they're waiting for us to die off so we can have control over these children. They know you're going to die. We're going to just die off, and your ideas are going to die with you.
Right. They're going to make it seem like, oh, they're so quaint. They're so old-fashioned.
Exactly. Your ideas are going to die with you. We're going to have these children, and they're going to grow up into the ideals that we give them. All right? They're going to go against their mother and father and pick up these ideals. In spite of the correctness of their mother and father, they're going to pick up these false ideals, these false doctrines.
Right.
All right? And that's what's going on here. So they put these clowns in front of you. You call them superstars, heroes, basketball players, all these idols, all these people of wealth, because you think wealth makes you a better person. You think if somebody got money, they're better than you. That's your biggest problem. Right? They got money, they must be better than me.
Right.
You might not say it, but subconsciously you do. You act like it.
It's automatic.
Subconsciously you act like, because they got money, they better than me. They got a Cadillac, they better than me. They got a Maybach, they better than me. You know what I'm saying? because your ideals of success are what are the Europeans' ideal of success. Your slave master's ideal of success is your success. That's because you're an imitation of your slave master, except you're the slave. All right. So what we're dealing with here is culture. So indoctrination of a culture upon another people. That's all this is. All right. To make evil fair seeming. And so they come up with a smile, and he's like 11, and we're supporting him. And supporting his what? Is he having sex? Is he having sex?
No.
How do you, is he having sex?
But the way that he postured himself in that catwalk,
and let me ask you something.
It looks sexual.
Now, wait a minute. Check it out. I got an 11-year-old. He's heterosexual. He likes women. But I can just take him to the strip club then.
Exactly.
Why not just take him to the strip club? He's 11-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly. I'm supporting his sexuality. Take him to the strip club. But no, you're gonna get arrested.
And your child
gonna get taken away. You know what I'm saying? Like Sister said, anybody that been to, I'm from New York City area. If you've been to a gay parade, you know the cats is running around half naked. The men are walking around with their Johnsons hanging out, big phalluses all in the parade.
Yes.
There ain't no place you take a 11-year-old to.
Woo.
You ain't no place you take 11-year-old to. I don't know what kind of gay parade they went to.
That would be like going to see one of them little porn shops on 42nd Street.
Exactly. That's so. I don't know what they're talking about. See, this is like I said, they try to make it fair steaming. Look at the picture; it's so nice. They're cute. Throw up another picture. Show me another picture they took.
Okay. Let's see what we got going on.
You know, but this is very deep. Start with the first one.
Start with the first one.
Yeah, just scroll through.
Okay. All right. Oh wait, no, that's the second one.
Yeah. See that? It's about support. We support each other with pride. What you proud of? What you proud of? What's the pride about?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the pride about? What you proud of?
Look at that. Look at
that.
I
mean, this is just expression. Yeah, exactly. But what is she doing? That's first of all, that's not even quote unquote her child. That's Dwayne Wade's child with another woman. So where's his mother at? You know what I'm saying? Where's his mother at?
And how she feel about
about this? So maybe she's down too. That we don't know. What was his mother's name? Savannah? I can't remember hers.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to these.
Maybe that's LeBron's wife. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Look at keep going.
I'm going. It goes slow.
You ain't gotta go slow. Just go scroll through them.
Oh, just scroll through.
That's her big brother. That's his brother. That's his older brother with him right there.
Nah, well, I mean, I know, but I'm just looking at the color choice of pink.
Yeah, well, you know, that's how we do now.
Yeah, I know. Pink is like, oh, it's the new man.
Yeah.
It's just he
now,
looks like a little girl.
If you go further, that little tiny shorts on, you see? You got his whole family up there. Go up in the upper right hand corner.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, see, everybody, we all come out to support, all right.
Yes.
But you don't see no pictures of the parade, though. You notice.
Ooh, right.
Let's see the parade. What was going on in that parade?
Right. What was this? Which parade was this? I don't know, but
they got a children's gay parade now.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, is there a children's gay pride parade that'll be like child friendly? I doubt it.
Yeah. But this is nothing but state sponsored.
Oh, I saw this one too. What? This is their baby.
Okay. And
they put a big old gay pride rainbow on the baby's onesie. And I'm just like, it reminds me of like with the Smiths.
Yeah.
Where they start them out with this indoctrination.
Yes.
And then slowly we saw it right in front of our eyes where these children were actually rational looking children. And then all of a sudden they did this flip.
They Hollywooded them. They Hollywood.
Yes.
They're Hollywood. What do you think they do in Hollywood? They're gonna flip them. You want to be a star. You want to be an entity. You want to be famous. You got to live that lifestyle. All right. You got to live that lifestyle, and that's what they're doing. They drank the Kool-Aid. That's their lifestyle.
And I love that what you said, which is that the feminist, the whole ghettoization of this is all a man is allowed to be. This is all a woman is allowed to be, actually goes against just simply being human beings. And when you look at original tribes, they don't have like, this hyper feminized village female members.
Because it's not about sex.
Masculinized
It's not about sex.
Yes.
It's about duty. It's not about sex. It's about duty. See, it's not about sex. It's about duty.
Right.
That's why in the Holy Quran, mostly they talk about duty in the Holy Quran. You know what I'm saying? They only just doing your duty. The best you is one who's most mindful of your duty. It's about living up to your responsibilities. That's what it's about. But see, you're dealing with the European culture, and it's all about sex.
Yes.
And you know, it's all about sex. It's all about following your lust. That's what this culture is about. Because you have to understand, this what we're dealing with is white people going back to their native culture on you. All right, all this Christianity and stuff was designed for them to civilize them, so they would be able to come amongst us and do business. Because remember, they are not the minority. They are not the majority on the planet. They are a minority on the planet. All right. So you look at them all powerful right now, but they weren't all powerful back in the day.
Right.
They had to come to us with their hat in their hand, else they get their head cut off.
Right.
All right. So they had to learn civilization. They had to take Christianity, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, Christianity was designed for white people. It wasn't designed for you. It's designed to help them. Turn that down. Okay. It's designed to help them get civilized enough to do business with us. That's why we started the craft of what is called masonry. Masonry was designed to civilize the savage and make them be able to come and do business amongst the people, the human beings. All right? Because they were from caves and all they had was cave culture. See, that cave culture would mean, you eat your elderly when they stop functioning. They can't keep up.
Right.
You eat a weak baby, or you use the baby for bait to catch an animal and eat that.
Right.
All right. You have sex with everything in the cave: male, female, cat, dog, whatever. All right. That's the culture they had. And so masonry was designed to bring them into civilized. So they Christianity and masonry, these things, religion actually, was designed for them in order for them to be able to do business with the righteous people on the planet, which is us, which is the original people. Because they were totally they were totally uncivilized. You couldn't do nothing with them. Right. They didn't really have a proper language. They couldn't write. They didn't have nothing. They didn't have no sanitation.
And they were funky.
They were filthy. They had lesions all over their bodies. They were sickly. Teeth were falling out or broken and brittle.
And they weren't bringing any knowledge.
They were living 40 years maximum. All right, 40 years was old age for them.
Right.
All right. See, we got to see. They don't know their history, so they can't tell you this. But we know their history.
Right. Ooh,
know what I'm saying?
Let me go to the links that you sent me today. I'm going to go to this.
Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. Go back. Go back.
Okay, go back to that.
We'll get to that.
All right.
We'll get to that.
That's not what I'm going to. Okay.
We'll get to that. But like I said, they don't know their history, but we know their history. See? But it's like when I went to Washington, D.C. one time, I was on the train. I asked the brother, brother, where's the Smithsonian at? You live here? He said, yeah. I said, where's the Smithsonian at? He said, I don't know. See? Just because you from somewhere don't mean you know the history or you know anything about it. Well, they white. They must know white history. No, they don't know no white history. They don't know about the cave.
Yeah, they're not curious.
Just like you. You from Brooklyn. You don't know the history of Brooklyn, the average cat. You know what I'm saying? You have to study these things. You have to be interested in these things. And that's why we didn't know our own history. We have to take the time out to study these things. But see, you're dealing with the cave dweller, totally uncivilized, unsanitary, had no sexual mores or none of that stuff. No morality. No.
It's totally Alice
total murder. No, do what you want to do. It don't make a difference. What, please.
Well, I'm not saying that they had the doctrine of Alice, but that was Alice Crowley before there was an Alice Crowley.
Exactly. Oscar Corey just telling you to go back to the way you was. Go back to your cave culture. That's all he's telling you to do.
Right.
And right now, they're encouraging you to go back to your cave culture.
Right.
But right now, they're masking it under the guise of going back to the Greek culture. See, because the Greeks were the highest level of civilization as far as the white folks are concerned. The Greeks. All right. The Greeks brought us democracy. They brought us science. Then we know the Greeks stole all that stuff. Because the Greeks would tell you right now, I got it from Africa. Hippocrates would tell you about Imhotep. You know what I'm saying? But see, the Europeans, the white folks, they're going to go back to Greece. But that's their highest level of civilization. Though, quote unquote, Greece is not a European civilization. Europe is further up north. All right. Greek is more of a Mediterranean civilization.
That's right.
All right. And the original inhabitants of Greece and Rome were original people. All right. But once the Europeans moved in, the white people moved in, the white people that were left in it, they took over. They started all this other stuff. What you call Greek culture. That's what they got. All right. So in this Greek culture, homosexuality is encouraged. All right. So in Greek culture, what they're doing to young Zion would be considered being training him to be a catamite.
Oh, what's the catamite?
Let's go back to the now we can go to the page.
Okay.
All right, now we can go to the thing. Go up. Scroll all the way up. Now hit the full screen thing. Right there. All right. Now press play right down there.
That's play.
Catamites, yeah. Keep going. See? What is a catamite? A boy kept by a pederast. You know what a pederast is, right? Somebody, it's a pedophile. Or someone into young children. All right. A boy kept for homosexual practices. Origin, word catamite comes from the Latin word catamitus, which is a word refers to the corruption of gambits. It all goes back to their culture. It's going back to their fairy tale. Let's go. Gamey, the story of gamey different depending on various authors choose to leave out certain keep going. All right. See, Athenian law. Athens was a city in Greece because Greece was not a nation. It was a bunch of city-states in a conglomerate. So Athenian law, it was against the law for an adult male to willfully be penetrated by another male. So once it became a certain age, it wasn't allowed adult males to be. It wasn't looked up. It was frowned upon. It was frowned upon, exactly. Right. Because you couldn't be a butt boy. You couldn't be a bottom, as they call it now.
Right.
Bottom wouldn't.
You think that was because they felt that you can't think straight
if you're like that? If you're a bottom, that means that you're submissive.
You're submissive. You took on the energy of a woman.
You're just submissive, so you can't be a real man.
You can't be trusted. Also,
so what they wanted to do it, so they used the children. See, they weren't even held responsible for what they did as a child, being a pederast. See, keep going. Pedagogy. Pederastic relationships were used in the form of pedagogy in many ways. They were used in education, military training, as well as rites of passage. Oh, go back to that. Where you go back? You see what they're talking about here, right? The pedagogy, sex, was used in education, military training, as well as rites of passage. So they use sex for education, well, military training, as well as, in other words, pederast your sex with young boys. See? So the boy had to submit to his teacher, to his lieutenant.
Wow.
As well as his mentor.
So he just passed around.
Exactly. Right. That's their culture, yo. This is their culture. All right. So all they're doing is reintroducing you to their culture in the way they want it to be.
Right. Because they all know this. Look at the display.
They don't all know this, but like I said, we didn't put exactly.
No, I'm not talking about the average.
This is well documented. No, you're right. It's well documented.
Right. They know this.
Now keep going.
About themselves. Okay.
All right. So that's just a little thing I want to show you right quick. There's more to that. I got a whole thing on that. A whole document.
Go to the next one?
No, don't go to the next one yet.
Okay. All right.
Go back to where we were.
All right. All right. Yeah, the photo.
Yeah, but the key is, what were you showing over here?
I was just showing him on the catwalk and how, his whole entire body movement is sexualized. It's submissive. Yeah, it's seductive.
But we do that too. You do that to heterosexual children too. You see sisters got their daughters doing these seductive dances.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm glad you mentioned that because it makes me think of the fact that they have sexualized little girls.
Absolutely.
And so that was an where you have these pageants for little girls where they slather them in makeup to make them look like they're grown women.
Little Miss Sunshine, watch that movie. Little Miss Sunshine was about that.
That was and it's just that's not what girlhood used to be about. And now I'll see videos where you have girls who they just take it as a given that, I remember wearing nail polish was completely forbidden.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But now, I got my little nail polish out. And you would be at in a frustrating, endless loop of an argument trying to explain to somebody why we must protect girlhood. Because looking
Yes.
at this young boy here, I see
or virtue.
where all of and girl virtue.
And virtue.
I
and male
see
virtue
where
also.
he is being sanctioned because they can say, well, the little girls do this, but
Exactly.
the little girls should not be doing this.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You
but
know?
you do it. Why you let your little girls do it? Because you want money. You pimping your little girls in these pageant contests.
Yes.
You pimp your little girls. You want them on TV. You want them in commercials. You pimp your children.
Even these little booty shorts and everything.
Yeah, people
It's
pimping
like,
their children.
what?
They want their little girls to be models, and they want their little boys to be actors. And they pimping their children. We pimping our children out here. It's straight up. Parents are pimping their children. Let's be for real.
Yeah. They want to live vicariously through their children.
No, they want to get that money. They trying to get that back.
Well, I know they want to get that money, but I also think that compliment, that's my child.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, speaking as a woman who I'm more, for me personally, there's sisters out there who aren't as prone to vanity as I am.
Yeah.
But I have a little bit of vanity in me. And so I know it was very flattering to me when Elijah was young. He was an extremely good-looking little boy. And now he just looked like a boy's boy, and that's good. But it was so much of a compliment to me. Like, it put me in a different category of, a qualification. I'm one of the people with the Henson families or something. So I know that for a lot of mothers and females out there, that's they live through their children in that way. That's outside of the money, even though the money's part of it. I think they think of it more in terms of this is good for the child, because it's so, look, we're getting so many compliments, we're getting so much attention, and it puts us in a whole nother we're like the celebrities ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
So that's also, I see how we have made our boys vulnerable by not recognizing the danger towards the little girls. And here's the thing I wanted to bring up also, which is in that danger towards the little girls, it has been the undervaluing, as is intrinsic in Western culture, of womanhood, of the sacredness of womanhood, that makes us look at little girls and not understand their integral role in a righteous civilization. Yeah. In this one, people kind of look at, and fathers and mothers, they look at their little daughters as if they're just dolls, and they're, oh, that's so sweet, cute. That's so cute, sweetie. And they don't take them as also another kind of soldier in fortifying our nation. And that's why I'm grateful, actually, to my father, because he saw my intellect, my potential intellect early on. And so he would have actually serious conversations. And I know there's a lot of sisters out there who've had good fathers like that, so that they'll have real conversations about real life that are respectful, but prepare them to think beyond the surface of what they see tossed in front of them. And that's really vital. We can't just see, because I really do look at this young boy being just sacrificed. And yes, and that the sacrificing of the female spirit in childhood has opened up that portal. So now it's hard to just look and say, well, this is child abuse, because there's already, but the girls are doing it. The little girls are doing it. Well, why can't the boys have fun doing it? So let's see, Sister Gwen B, we have to grow out of that too. We did not know the truth yet. Absolutely, sister. Peace to you, beloved Natasha Tashism. Go ahead, King.
No, I mean, you're right. All right. It's the devaluation of selfhood. Ultimately, that's what it is. Male or female. You know what I'm saying? It's about tearing that selfhood down. Tell the truth. They tell you that you should be all about yourself. But in the effect of you being all about yourself, you actually destroy yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a catch-22.
Right. When
being totally selfish actually destroys the self. See? Thinking only about yourself destroys yourself.
Right.
Because we are not that type of people. We are communal people.
Mm.
We grow and feed off of each other, helping each other. That's where our growth and development comes from. Being and helping and exchanging with each other.
Mm.
Just being concerned about yourself destroys self. All right. But since you took the devil for a friend and you went to this rugged individualism,
Mm.
you know what I mean? You were actually committing suicide, psychological suicide and spiritual suicide. All right. And that's what we're trying to warn you against. All right. And sacrificing of the children is what has to be done. Who do you sacrifice your children to in pagan?
Well, I
No.
learned about Chemosh.
No, I mean, who else? Baphomet, don't you?
Baphomet. Yeah, Chemosh is Baphomet.
Yeah, you sacrifice your children to Baphomet.
Yeah.
All right. As you say, Baphomet is also Pan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's all going back to this Pan, this god Pan, who is Baphomet, who's this so-called devil with the tail and the horns and stuff. That's all just Pan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is what you're dealing with: this pansexuality, this pandemic of homosexuality, this pandemic of throwing our children into these sexual games, these sexual routines, well before their time to deal with them, or they're able to deal with them. This is not a culture where we can grow up, where we can protect our children sexually. It's not that type of culture.
It's not.
We don't have that community. All right. So you introducing your children to this stuff real early is just doing your, it's going to be to your own doom.
And it's overwhelming.
You know what I'm saying? If we had our own society, then we can have events where we introduce our children to this stuff in a righteous way. But we don't have that. Everything, because there's too much outside interference. You have the internet, you have television, you have cable, you have the street, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You have the TV news,
Mm.
you got these so-called celebrities, all right? They're all sowing chaos in the minds of the youth, all right? And you can't protect your children against that, other than warning them against that and helping them build up their self-respect and their understanding of sexuality, of male, female roles. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that men and men can love each other, but it's not sexual.
Mm.
Brotherhood is not a sexual act. All right? Sisterhood is natural, but it ain't a lesbian act.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Men love men and women love women, as a mother loves her daughter and her sister. You know what I'm saying? And her cousin and her niece. You know what I'm saying? This is natural love, but it's not erotic love. It's not sexual.
Right.
But see, since you're dealing with the beast, you have turned everything into a sexual act, because they can only see things on that physical level. But we don't look at that level. We live beyond that level.
Right.
Our relationship should be beyond the physical.
And that's that childhood, because I remember it's a protective haven where you get to examine and understand yourself, and sex doesn't come in and just the energy of sex is so capturing. And if you don't have a self identity and a stability in your own personhood, then that's just going to overwhelm you.
You have to be educated. You have to be educated properly. You ain't gonna get that education in this society.
Yes.
You ain't gonna get that here. They don't teach you that in school. They ain't gonna teach you that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we gonna get that education? Each one got to teach one.
Yes.
All right. That's the only way we get that education. All right.
And that's when I think about, the whole process of learning how to interact with people. If you're learning how to interact with people and it's instantly about sexuality, then you don't really learn the real meaning of friendship.
You don't even know the person.
You don't even know the person.
Yeah.
Everything becomes just titillation.
Yes.
Impulse driven, just satisfaction of your carnal desires. And you lose the language of civilization.
Because that is how you're introduced to relationships.
Right.
You introduced to relationships through TV. You introduce relationships between movie. In the movie, you meet a girl, next thing you know, they're in the room. They have a drink, next thing you know, they're in the room. They ain't really had a conversation about nothing.
Right. They don't know who the hell each other are.
There's no conversation about nothing depth about that. Not even a bit of pop. What do you think about the president? Nothing. What kind of car do you drive? None of that stuff.
Right?
It's
like, let's just get
but
to the
going
physical.
right into the sex.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that puts an idea in your mind that there's no need for all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they skip all of that, and we're being programmed by these movies and by this television.
Right.
You're being programmed. That's why they call it TV programming. You're being programmed.
And at the end of all of that, you wind up then, because Allah is paramount. And he puts it so that if you do that wham, bam, thank you, ma'am thing, you're repulsed after that by the person. And then you have nothing to talk about. And you both just used each other on a very limited level. That was all full
and for an animal, that's fine.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Whoa, that's it, King. For an animal, that's fine.
For a beast, that's fine. That's
right.
fine for them. But unlike the beast or the animal, they only have sex during mating season. They ain't having sex all the time.
Oh, and he put fur on them too.
They're in their nature, though. You know what I'm saying? They don't have sex all year round. They have a mating season. If they're in captivity, they'll do all types of stuff: masturbation, sex all year round.
Right.
Animals in captivity.
That's all.
Only animals in captivity do all that stuff.
They stay in heat.
It's like in their natural environment, they have a season and a reason for everything.
Right.
Unlike us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Whereas if you're going to have a thought-filled relationship with somebody, you have to be able to have a full knowledge of who this person is. So because you're only gonna stay having sex with them for so long, and then when you finish, who is this person to you?
You're not gonna have a full knowledge, but you just have an appreciation.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's a mystery. I think that's one of the things that the creator puts there, because there's always there's a new layer to the relationship that you're getting to like peel back and go, oh, now here's an aspect I hadn't contemplated. But at the same time, I'm just saying that the whole sexual, that's why I think I was studying about the MK Ultra monarch butterfly, how they steal the children and people will just give them their children and they go in and they sexually abuse them because they want to steal that Kundalini fire.
Yeah, they call it orgone energy.
Yes, and
Europeans call orgone.
Yes, to capture the child's dumb loyalty
energy,
right at the very outset, because that's the most powerful, just in spontaneous energy that you're going to experience in life. And if somebody else is ruling over it.
Yeah, physically, I guess.
Physically, that's what I mean. Physically.
Yeah.
I don't mean the grace and the majesty of developing your own unique,
real relationship.
Real personhood. Yeah. But I'm just saying instantly that like charge, that orgasm is like, whoa, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
And so they steal, and that is going to gain just, I think, that's such a theft. That's such a complete and total theft. So that the child is no longer in charge of the sacredness of its own vessel as intended by the creator.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So,
right. It's all night. You're right about that.
And so this is what they're doing to our children, where they're just sexualizing them right from childhood.
It's abuse. It's abuse.
It's abuse.
By any other name, it's child abuse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can take all the pictures and do all the fake peace sign crap you want to do. It's just child abuse by another name.
Yeah.
But it's government sanctioned. You know what I'm saying? It's the ideals that they're sanctioning right now. All right. Because remember, the children they always use their children like that. All right. They always use their children like that for sexual pleasure. They always use their children like that. That's their history and that's their culture. But it's not your history and culture. That's what I'm trying to say. They can do what they want for their history and culture to support their culture. But we shouldn't be doing it. All right?
Yes.
And we shouldn't let these Negroes come up and try to present it to us like it's our culture. See, that's the danger. Let Negroes like these fools like them,
they're just
such introducing these things to you like it's your culture when they just taking on the Europeans' culture. See, that's the problem that's the problem I have. People, they got a society, they want to live like that. That's their business. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live like that.
And it is our very nature as a communal people that makes us vulnerable, because it's not bad to be communally driven, where you are looking outside yourself to see, well, what's the going language of my village?
Yes.
What is everybody doing? You can see that because you could actually go village to village and identify based on the different traditions that are practiced in that village who these people are. And they could almost look to us, to an outsider's eye, all the same. but they'll know, oh, he's from the village down this way, and he's from that one. They'll be able to identify instantly based on this one has this on, that one's wearing it this way. They could tell immediately. So this communal drive we have, and we as such a destroyed people, where we don't know who we are and what we are, what our traditions are. We're in a constant state of rebirth. They come in and they want to take over because we're going to look at Gabrielle Union, who she's a fool, and her husband is a fool. Them walking around dressed exactly the same, and he's walking around looking super quiffed out.
Exactly.
You know,
that's their thing.
Yeah,
metrosexuality.
We're going to look at that, and we're going to just, oh, this is the new club. This is the new gathering for Black us. And it's dangerous to our children to just offer them up and not recognize this. This would be the same level of child abuse if he, as my king was saying, if she took him to the club and had
the strip club and asked Mike give him a lap dance.
Yeah, just, and make it rain for the strippers.
Same.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look at not that. I don't know what parade they were at, but I know they're all the same.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not the same. But I'm just
you got safe search on. That's
there we go.
That's because you got safe search on.
Oh, I got safe. Okay, I don't want to turn off safe search. No, thank you. I don't know what I'll see.
You can't see it, too.
I know you're right, King. I do have them on safe search, but that's basically like
it. This is a little sample, but it's 10 times worse.
It's 10 times worse. Yes. Right, but that's what he's being exposed to. Now, tell me you would take your child up and ask this guy if he would babysit your child for you.
You might keep going down.
That's
tame. That's the beach. All
right. So, I am fairy. Exactly. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. This is what he got to see.
Yeah. Welcome to the gay pride. Like I said, this is safe search on, mind you. This is safe search on. This is nothing compared to what the parade is like.
Yeah, I don't want to see all
that. It's a sanitized version of the parade.
Yes, most definitely.
Right? Just remember that.
All right. So how in the world, even with safe search on, there's no way that you would have a little boy and he's identifying with all this madness as if that's the real him. He doesn't even begin at 11 years old. You don't understand sex and what sex is. And if you do, you have been sexually abused.
Absolutely.
Right? So
or they're grooming you to be a catamite.
Right. Absolutely.
They're going to be some catamite because most gay young men are broken in by older men. They don't like to tell you that part. Most gay teenagers are broken in by adults.
Wow, because they see them coming. You know, and I don't mean that in like double entendre.
Yeah.
But yeah, they probably are just like a lot of heterosexual men get excited over virgins.
Yeah.
You know, ooh, I want to bust that.
Yeah.
That's and they had him up on that catwalk swinging his derriere around.
Well, see, this is just a celebration, and these are just normal celebrations they used to have back in the ancient times. So this ain't nothing. You know, they had them for every holiday. They would do this. Right. They have orgies in the street.
Right.
There would be much more alcohol. All right. Look up Bacchus. Bacchus is the god of their god. Bacchus is one of their gods of mirth and drunkenness and lewdness. Bacchus. That's why they give you a bachelor's degree. And that's why you spend all your college days getting drunk and partying, because you're really giving honor to Bacchus. That's why they give you a bachelor's degree. Bacchus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, why do you think Animal House and all that stuff was about? Why give you a baccalaureate? Why did they give you a baccalaureate? Where did that come from? Because it's an honor to God Bacchus, the god of wine and drinking and fornication and adultery. Bacchus.
So secretly, this is what
they tell you exactly what
they've been pointing all the time back to just getting to, and now they're trying to melanate it up. So when they just do what has always they've been dying to do, it's everybody accepts it now.
You have to understand that You just couldn't. Unlike today, you couldn't just say you're homosexual. You couldn't just say you're homosexual. You could just say you're lesbian. There were rituals you had to go through. All right.
Oh, you mean back in the day, Greek days?
Back in that day, yeah. There was rituals you had to. You can just say I'm a lesbian. That didn't work like that. I'm just a girl. I just really like women. No. It wasn't none of that.
Why did they have these rituals?
Because everything was in service to the gods. You had to go through your rituals.
Oh.
You had a ritual for everything. All right. You had to go through training. That's why they had it in rites of passage. That's why they had it in your rites of passage, like we saw earlier. You just couldn't go there. You just couldn't be homosexual, and you just couldn't pick up a guy on the street. You just couldn't pick up a young boy on the street. They had places to do that at.
I guess the control.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you call it now?
Right. What?
You know what it was called then?
The gymnasium.
The gymnasium.
Right.
That's what they call it now.
Right.
Why do you think they pat you on the ass in a basketball game? Why do you think the coach pats you on the ass? That's how they picked you in the gymnasium back in Greek.
Right.
I want that one. Pat him on the ass.
And I want to say again, if this is the real you, I wish you no harm. But I'm saying to maintain civilization where the children are protected and they are allowed to develop their personalities, their full personalities, without
interference from y'all.
Interference, without it being hooked on to the most limiting aspects of their physical beings, then you can't have civilization run by those who give in to nonstop impulse expression, who have no filter whatsoever in what they do and just do it all, baby. Just let it all be free. And they even, I forget who's that little white boy.
The one that got dancing at the strip club.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta
go to that one right there. Cause that's like, wow.
No more parents that should be locked up.
Let's see now. Trans
11, 12-year-old boy
at
he was on Good Morning America.
Okay.
Is that him?
I don't know. Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Now look at that. Look at they put this guy on Good Morning America. Like this is a good thing.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. See?
Okay, I only want to show the pictures because they'll
programming you. Yo, this is what do you mean? You can play that. It's on YouTube.
I know it's on YouTube, but they don't like my channel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they'll come after me, and I can't afford a lawyer to say, well, this is an educational channel, and because of that, I have a right to show what I want fair use. They've done it before, so I don't do it. I just show the pictures. Yeah. But look at the proud parents.
You celebrating these parents? They should be locked up.
Yeah,
their child should be taken away from them. Most sexualized. He's probably 8 or 9 years old when he started that. He going performing at homosexual clubs.
Yeah, I show this a little. Okay, that's just a photo there. But yeah, they got him walking down the runway.
Yeah.
Right.
And they clapping like this is right.
Look at them. They're so proud of him. They're so happy. Look at that. What
He's
is
fabulous.
What is a pose like that for? But submission. Right? And sexuality, seductress.
I don't want to see nobody's children doing this.
I know.
Nobody's children should be out there doing that.
And they got him up there. Desmond is amazing. What? And you walking around with all this makeup on? What's all that for? That's what I know. All the women are wearing makeup now, but originally it was just the hookers. It was just the hookers, and it's just the average white woman got scared. They need it. They do. I'm just saying, for me personally, but they got scared because they were losing their husband to the brothels, and so they were like,
care about losing their husband to no
brothel. They do. They
act like they did.
They may act like it, whatever, but they wanted to be able to compete. They wanted to make it a level playing ground of seduction, and so for them to just be up there and look at that. Oh my goodness. That is a seductor. Marilyn Monroe. That's the total Marilyn Monroe move. Right? So it's just ridiculous. And they're making this seem like it's so innocent.
I'm just illustrating. As you can see, this is what they're pumping out of the rumor mill. Not the rumor mill. The TV mill right now. To make it fair seeming. To make evil fair seeming. Or this silliness fair seeming. You know what I'm saying? They're making merchandise of that little boy. Who knows what he's... Oh, man, I hate to see him in 10 years.
Yeah.
What kind of ruin his life would be?
Ooh.
See? They fed him to you. They feeding him to the sharks right now. As he's a sacrifice. He's a catamite. He's a catamite sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah.
See? He don't have to have sex at all, but they're using his image as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's
But
no
this is the
bottom
people
to this.
This is the rulership you living under.
Yeah.
This is the rulership you living under. All right? If you think you're gonna find justice with them, with this, you think there's a way for you and your family in this? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be sadly mistaken.
That's right.
You will be wiped. Your ideas will be wiped off the face of the earth.
See, and that's the thing is that I would have to not just even hear one or two homosexuals who are out there speaking against this. I would have to see a homosexual movement saying we are being depicted in a way that we protest.
Yeah.
We are against this. This is against the family, and we support heterosexual families being able to continue because we can't have children of our own, and we want your children to grow up to make their own freedom of choice.
They're too busy recruiting. They don't care about that.
It's nonstop recruiting. Yeah.
They're too busy recruiting.
Wow. Should we go to the other article that you
Oh
have?
man, you can go there. That's not an article.
Okay, let's see now. I don't.
Oh, you didn't open it up yet. Oh,
yeah, I did. Okay.
Oh man, this is deep here. This is really was. I wish I had it was a slideshow. I wanted to show that, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
This is the words from it. But basically, we are dealing with a culture. All right. Look at that. Slow down. Bisexual and homosexual is in ancient Greeks concerning black male sexuality activity was extremely prevalent. Sexuality was not a concept in ancient Grecian culture because it was just their way of life. Right? So it wasn't a concept, it was our life. All right? Look at this. Some scholars believe pederasty came from pre-Homeric traditions. The role between boys and youth and adult men formed in sexual and non-sexual to birth, educational consequences for his. Oh man, go there. I didn't want to go through all of this really.
But Hellenic polytheistic religion.
Oh yeah, let's understand. These Greeks were called Hellenics.
No,
I'm not talking about that. They call themselves Hellenics. All right. Now you join these black frats, and they call themselves Hellenic too. Right? So you want to be in these black frats, and you want to be Hellenics. This is what Hellenics do. All right. Okay, this is part of Hellenic lifestyle, black man.
Polytheistic
you should not be calling yourself Hellenic.
Encourage these relationships through myths such as Ganymede and Zeus and Apollo, and his several young male lovers, and even Greek heroes Achilles
and Patroclus.
Yeah. These homosexual and lesbian relationships were also vastly expressed in poetry and plays, as well as philosophies were written on the discussion of lovers and love between same-sex love.
Yep, and they go into the origin of pederasty, which is
this goes on
relationship between male and adults. Yeah, it's a lot. I wish I had the slideshow. Slideshow is easy to go through.
Okay.
But my point is that if you look at it, I just want to really illustrate that there was a system here. This wasn't no random stuff. This was a system. There's a way things had to be done. All right. There are rules to this game,
which means that's part of your culture when you have developed traditions, rules and regulations.
It's all about culture.
And
it's
control.
Not about nothing else. They want you to absorb their culture. They're not happy unless you absorb and idealize their culture.
Right.
That's all this is about.
They had to have us
That's the only way for you to submit
them
in order to submit to their culture.
Right. Yeah. So that we look at them as a de facto authority over. I've got white approval.
That's
now.
what college is for.
Right.
To indoctrinate you into the worship, idolization of their culture.
That makes so much sense. That's why they don't teach
and to make you a debt indentured servant, right? But at least for 10 years.
It's not just that they don't teach about our ancient history because they can't stand us. It's also because they wouldn't be able to withstand us saying, wait a minute, if I like us,
and it ain't their
what do I need you for?
It ain't their responsibility teach you about your ancient history.
Oh,
When you
that's
say
true.
responsibility. That's your responsibility.
That's true.
They ain't obligated to do that. You got to do that.
Right. Well, I also wanted to go to this one right
Yeah,
here.
going gay. Like I said, you couldn't just go gay. Ain't none of that. There's rules to the game.
So this is an article here. Heterosexual liberal men, but that's a lie, straight out the bat, are going gay for 30 days in support of Pride Month.
Yeah, right.
Hey, this one was so ridiculous. I got to read it to your family. In a noble form of progressive protest, a new trend, so they hope, is taking the nation by storm. Have you heard anybody doing this? Straight heterosexual men are voluntarily going gay for 30 days for Pride Month. These are stunning and brave. Look at the propaganda in there. Brave liberal men, some of whom have girlfriend and or wives themselves, who are choosing to
who are approving this activity.
Yes, go on dates, kiss and sleep even with other straight men.
Sleeping. They ain't sleeping.
Yeah, to support the LGBTQ community. Wow. I remember when we were looking to be acknowledged as real men and women, and you didn't see them promoting any of this nonsense. So nothing says you're part of this has got to be something that's already in you to just go ahead and agree to this.
Exactly.
Nothing says you're part of a cultural push. Oh, look at the double entendre there. Then to take part in their activities. Many of these voluntary homosexual men, see, they're trying to get it in your head that you could be bi-curious. You could just, be homo-curious.
No, they are.
And
That's
you're still going to be heterosexual.
That's European culture.
Yes.
These men are reverting to type. To what they are.
Yes, because you see it in all the movies. They always, and even the football, they slap each other on the butt.
They're referring to what they are. That's all. That's not what you are, black man and black woman. That's what they are.
I know.
And it's all right if that's what they are, but stop taking on what they are.
I have never seen, when I was a little girl, I knew so many young black boys because I lived in Red Hook, Brooklyn. None of this was even hinted at. None of this was even a feature. They hadn't
got to you yet.
Right.
They're getting to you now.
Yes, they
haven't
are.
Got to you yet. They haven't got to your children yet.
Woo! At the end,
they were in the process back then.
At the end of the day, each of them are understanding that taking part in homosexual activities with other members of the same gender does not make you a homosexual yourself.
No, stop.
Wow.
Does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say to that. Wearing shoes does not make you a shoe wearer. Combing your hair does not make you a hair comber. Swimming does not make you a swimmer.
Driving a car does not make you a car driver. Wow, they're incredible. My goodness, this is just silly. And at the end, I'll just get to the end part where the dude was saying that hopefully my going gay for 30 days is an exclusively liberal and progressive idea. And they're saying somewhere at the end where it's like, we hope our girlfriends will take us back.
What the issue is that, this stuff can't stand up to scrutiny. There's no way these type of ideas can stand up to scrutiny. That's why they have to shut you down. Because if they allow us to come in there and scrutinize it, they would see how silly this stuff is. Yes. But they couldn't stand up to scrutiny with anybody with they have a brain. That's why when you see people on TV arguing points, dumb points, these Negroes they put up there, they put up there to lose. Right. They never say anything. They put up there to lose because they're not going in to win. They put up there to lose. They choose them specifically. They choose them specifically. They're put up there to lose. All right. They know they're going to lose. That's why they got them on TV. But they know their point is not going to be effective. That's why they got them on TV. That's why they got them on these Fox and all the stuff like that. And these fake debates.
That's one of the things that as a little girl, see, this culture, it's natural. If you don't understand what's going on, as Brother Neely Fuller said, if you don't understand racism, everything else will confuse you. This culture is perfectly understandable to feel confusion, anger, general sense of just disconnectedness, because it is set up in a way that doesn't make any sense. So as a little girl, I used to watch so many different Black news TV shows when they still had them on. But when they really changed everything around to where they had these just generalized pundits, and I was like, how come they're not mentioning this? How come they're not saying this?
Well,
and then
it ain't for them to mention.
Exactly. I'm even looking at this photo, and they got it so that for a second I'm like, is this a black guy?
Yeah, no.
And it's nothing but
They just picked a
3
crappy photo.
pink folks up in
That
here.
could be anybody. It could be some cats having a beer doing a beer commercial.
In the middle, they even have a pink guy with his, locks on.
That's because they don't matter.
Well, they don't matter, but I know they want
to.
They want to send the energy out of blackness. Oh. They want you to look and just make an assumption that this is black us and we approve. And it's nothing but a bunch of white dudes up on here. That's why when you go to these like BuzzFeed things and they're promoting all kinds of nonsense, immediately they'll have a black woman, they'll have a black man, drag queen story hour.
Yeah, they do that on they do that for TMZ. They got the black dude in the middle and the white guy. Whatever talking about. They were talking about Wade and them. Cheering them on. It's positive, so positive what they're doing.
Right. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, this has been
crazy. This is crazy.
This has been a war strategy long. I even wonder long before Albert Pike.
What about it?
Well, where they say like he's predicted the world wars, and also that at the end of the Third World War, they would introduce atheism, and then at the end of it, they would get rid of all religions and it would just be Satan. It would just be satanic. And so I know that this is, they've been planning all of this in order to make the way. Because when you look at the Baphomet, it's male and female.
That's right.
And it is, when I look at Baphomet and I think of, I think it's Shiva, who is the god of like, where it has both male and female. I look at that as a harbinger of the nothingness, because that is before Allah birthed himself. He separated himself and he was male in that birthing into existence. He had come out with both sexes because that's what they try to promote. They're like, oh, but if you have both male and female, you're even better. Yeah. And no, you are what he created you to be. You are always, when they do the studies, when you accept the nature you were born to have, you are going to have a more integrated personality overall. So these people are literally, it's just a call into the nothingness, is the call into stepping away from the sanctioned commands of Allah, so that you no longer are in his good graces at all.
Oh, it's about taking you away from that. They're not in Allah's good graces, so it don't make a difference to them. It's about getting you, black family, out of God's good graces. That's what that's about.
Yeah.
They ain't concerned about themselves. They know they doomed. That's why they're the only ones that have a doomsday. Only white folks have a doomsday in their culture. We ain't got no doomsday in our culture. It's doomsday, the end of everything. They ain't got a time period on themselves. Not us. You know what I'm saying? They want you to think you them. They want you to think that you're them. That's the biggest issue. All right? That's all it's about. And you have to understand, the highest level of manhood in their culture is being a homosexual. And the highest level of woman in their culture is being a lesbian. That's why they put these archetypes in front of you.
I remember Camille Paglia, when I first heard her. I didn't understand any of it at the time, but she came out I think I was like in my mid-20s, saying that the highest expression of a bond is man to man. And I was like, aren't you a woman saying something like this?
Well, it depends on what she was talking about. There's different, it could be without it. I don't know what she was talking about.
Well, she came out saying that something that really upset women, which was that when you go out and you get raped and you're not wearing, proper clothing and stuff. You earned it. And that really made everybody upset. But at the same time, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, actually, even though you can be raped and you're wearing full clothing. I know that in the Middle East, that has one of the highest rape rates on the planet.
That's right, because they don't love the law. They fear the law. See, it's different.
Wow.
Loving the law and fearing the law is two different things. When you love the law, you know it's good for you.
Right.
And you obey it. When you fear the law, you know what I'm saying? You bound to do any type of crap. Wow. When you get a chance to come. That's why they come out here and sell pork and all that dumb stuff and drink and smoke weed and coke. That's why them same quote unquote Muslim cats come out here and they act drug addicts, or they leave the country and they drink alcohol, go to strip clubs. Of course, they don't love the law. They just fear it. It's just impressed upon them. It's different.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's true. That's true. That's why for me, when people are like, what are you going to do? Police people in their bedrooms and stuff? I'm like, no, there's going to get to be a point where we see how much damage allowing satanic ways to gain a foothold in just the overall public realm of life, that folks are going to say, oh, like I said, every head will bow. Everybody is going to be in submission to the one and the only, because they want to be, because they love it, because they know he never came trying to make us into slaves. He never came calling us goyim. He's not trying to make us into a new kind of livestock. He wants us to be happy, but he wants us to know it comes with rules. It comes with just roles that you are born to, and that you must be guided by those who are elder and those who are wise, so that the children can be protected long enough to embrace what is going to give them life and more abundantly, not destruction. I mean, at the same time that all of this is happening, what I'm constantly going over, the dead oceans, is also happening. And I want to know, I know there's got to be some homosexuals out there who, on top of knowing you're not supposed to sexualize children, at least on a intellectual level, they'll know that. I know that they've got to know about those dead oceans. And I really would love to go to, where's your channels where you're not talking about nonstop? Oh, I got this new makeup. You want to see me put it on?
On YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube. And where they're talking about, well, let's not talk about the makeup today, girls. Now let's talk about what we're going to do about Fukushima. You know, yeah, I want to see that. I want to see some leadership from these persons, because I just see nonstop, just impulse living, satisfy your next carnal desire. And so that's why I'm saying these people, they're not our rescue. They're not even their own rescue. And they're not our people. They're not our people. But at the same time, they are on the down low, pushing their own to just, sort of fight back. And where they have this Lake County church hosting 3-day Make America Straight Again, where there are different straight pride organizations out there. And we have Irritated Genie, even though I've never liked his name. At the same time, we have ours out there trying to do the best that they can. But you have to, at this point in time, with all of the censorship, you really have to guard what you say, so that people don't depict your just exhaustion with the programming as if you mean harm to these persons. But there's actually, to me, ultimately, I don't see what the compromise is going to be, right? Because they make this society nonstop chaotic, so that young girls are just so scary, I think, for a lot of young boys. And then young boys are just like, you got to be hyper masculine, that they almost make it seem fake like masculine. You're fake masculine. Becoming a homosexual almost seems, or a lesbian seems like the same thing to do. What you say, King? I can't hear you back there. It's a lot less work. Well, less work. And so that's what they put out there. Let's see what you're saying. Super Seamster Sewing Show, Bakersfield, California. Oh, peace. Greetings to you, brother. I don't know if you, I think you are my brother, but that's okay. I'm always welcoming you because you know about Fukushima, and that's a beautiful thing. So yeah, that I don't know if you want to add, or we should go to the comments, King.
Go to the comments.
Okay. If anybody
Please.
wants to, you know,
got any more comments because you're even making comments the whole time. So.
Yeah, they've been you guys been having a lively conversation back and forth. But if anybody wants us to say something specifically or address or respond to an inquiry, then just put it right here, because sometimes people will ask us if we have a phone line or something where you could call in, and we don't have that. Okay. But right here is where you could put your particular aspect of what you consider on all of this. And we are more than happy to just put it out there for a general audience. Peace. And thank you, brother Blackfist. And yes, donate to the Patreon account, because we should. I'm not saying we must, but if you find solace in a public media platform, it's not like I'm trying to be media, but a public platform that speaks what is being slowly silenced. Hey, how you doing, brother Daryl Giles? Then please donate to the Patreon account, right? Because I'm not going anywhere. We're not going, my king and I, we ain't going anywhere. And you can call my king, he's Brother Z. Okay, so you don't have to call him the Radical Sisters King. And buy the novel. So I really appreciate you, Brother Blackfist, for what you do. So you sub, thank you so much, Sister Shem. I really appreciate that. All right. So I don't see anybody with any particular questions. So I'm going to figure that we've covered.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward, and we all know. We all know. Yeah. So we just want to
send it out. Send it out to your people in your channel, in your circle. Send it out so they can hear it. Maybe there's somebody, maybe your sister or brother, who might not know it, or there's people in your family, or there's people on your Instagram feed or your Tumblr page. Post it up so we can get this message out there, because it can't just stop here. Each one got to teach one. So pass it on.
Right.
Because we got to stop these quote unquote celebrities from deforming our mentality. That's what we're doing. These are Judas goats leading our people to the slaughter. All right. This celebrity worship has got to stop.
It's got to
stop, because this is what's killing us right now. You know what I'm saying? We can't have our children looking up to Jay-Z and looking up to
Will Smith or
Jada Pinkett. We can't have that. All right. These people are not qualified to lead your family or your children. All right. So we must fight against that. With every aspect of our being, we shut them down, shot them down, whatever got to be done. Because they're introducing ideas and concepts that are foreign to us and are dangerous to us and our families. All right. So they can get a couple dollars.
And the whole idea that there's just a one size fits everybody culture, new world order, and everyone just has to go along with it. Otherwise, you're mean. I thought democracy, according to them, is like all the voices in there.
They don't want no voices.
And they don't want any. You even have two political parties. Imagine if the United States
saying the
same thing, but I'm just saying they put that out there so it gives you the idea. Oh, there's a choice. But imagine if the United States government said, oh, we're going to shut down even the Democrats and the Republicans. There's just one party. And then we would all, but wasn't that the communists? What is it? What idea should we be promoting? Oh, we should be promoting Allah. Use the name of the creator you've been divinely guided to embrace. All right. But for me, he came to me as Allah. That's what we should be promoting.
You should be promoting modesty.
Honesty.
All right. Respect. Regular ideas. It ain't nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Respect. Protection of the Black woman and the children and the family.
And that children are children.
That's what you got to be promoting.
That's one of the reasons why.
That's the only thing to promote.
Yeah.
The family.
That's one of the reasons why, for me, I'm like, really be leery of calling your children kids, because kids is an idea of just wild.
What about tangibles? You got to be more specific.
What about tangibles? You have to be more specific, Super Steamster. Okay, tangibles are that. Don't just don't use their Greco-Romance rules of dating where you are just within 2, 3, 4 dates, you're supine with somebody that you don't know.
What about education? This is all education. That's
Yes.
what this is about. That's what we're doing.
This is education.
This
And
is education.
I recommend myself personally, homeschool.
Yes,
Homeschool.
no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. Keep them out of the clans of the beast as long as you can.
Yes. Our own school. No, we don't. You are
you
your
have
own
a home,
school.
you have an apartment, you have a school.
Exactly.
All right? You got an apartment, you have a school. You have a child, you have a school.
And we're like working class folks. But our child, all he's known is just being educated by us.
That's right. Or you can find your black school. There's black private school, not a charter school. If you can find a black private school, not a charter school, then you're good to go.
Yes.
Until then, or you can pool your resources with other families that want to homeschool, and maybe you can rotate. Maybe I got Thursday, I got them Thursday, you got them Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or if you're in an organization like a church or a mosque or a temple or something like that, go talk to your minister, your imam, say we want to come here 3 days a week with our children and teach them. You tithe into the church. You're giving charity already. They should provide a space for you to bring your children in and educate them outside of the control of your enemy. If they're all about freedom, if they're about the spirit of God and righteousness, they know you got to get free of the beast. All right. You should hold your lead, these quote unquote spiritual leaders to the feet to the fire on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Too many people are really playing games with this. That's why I say if you're on my channel then for entertainment, then you got to go.
Let me answer. The church has failed us for centuries because we haven't held the church accountable for
That's
nothing.
right.
Of course they're gonna fail. You ain't holding them accountable.
Like this society is successful for us. That's the option. I'm just wondering, super.
You can't accept the church at church face value. You got to hold the minister. The minister's not the leader of the church.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to represent the righteousness. He's supposed to represent the word of God. Hold him, make him responsible for it, and say we're gonna get us a new minister. They paid. The minister of a church is paid to do that. Withhold his money, he'll start teaching right. All right. And if you don't get political, you don't get political until you get economic. All right.
I just want to see what Sister Natasha, Sister Natasha, the children are food. Oh, Brother Blackfish, she didn't mean that way. Just so you know, Sister Natasha is a good sister. All right. So you know. So yes. The thing is that we tend to have an impression that if the religious institution is broken, it means because it was meant to be broken.
And a lot of them were.
And a lot of them
we can overcome that though.
Yeah, on purpose. But the thing is that is a signal from the Creator that you're supposed to get to work. You're supposed to do that. I don't hold Minister Farrakhan responsible for talking about Fukushima if I'm not going to get out there and put the work in. So that's what about the political arena? No,
like
I don't. Depends on who owns it, who's political arena.
Once you have an economic program, then you can go into your political program. You ain't going to politics without no economics. Because as we learned in 1985, politics without economics is a symbol without substance, as the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan told us years ago. And that's absolutely right. You can't do politics until you got an economic engine working. All right. The church is actually a good place to develop your economic engine because the black people own the church. The church is run off of tithing and things like that. All right. But you have to be, if you can control the church, then you can go into politics easily, but you got to control your churches.
Yes.
Stop letting the ministers control you. The hoe don't control the pimp. All right? The minister's a hoe. The minister's a hoe because he's fighting for them tithes.
Right.
He's fighting for that money. All right? You want that Cadillac.
And as far as Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moores of #ADOS, I suspected that the minute that it came across to me. I am always going to be leery of an organization headed by a homosexual, and also a homosexual. I don't know if she's still involved. It doesn't matter. She is involved because they're going to need to defend Western culture. That's what they need in order, because they know if we just say we are done and over with it and we mean it, that they're vulnerable in a society controlled by our natural culture. They know it's not that we're going to be hunting them down, but they know that it's not going to be like, oh yes, you're welcome up in here.
Yes.
To the degree that gay pride parade supporting culture on the other side is going to allow them to indulge in whatever enters their mind.
And you have to understand the homosexuality in the Black community is actually a tool to get you further connected to European culture. All right? Because once you accept the homosexuality, you know that no native culture is going to accept you anymore. Mm-hmm. So you are now bound or bonded to European culture. See? That's how they get you to separate. So you won't go to your native culture now.
Yes.
Because then no natives don't support none of that homosexuality.
Yeah.
All right? There's no Aboriginal culture that supports that. So now when you become a homosexual, you are actually bonded to the European culture because that's the only place that you will find your lifestyle supported. See?
Yes.
It's a bonding issue. They want you to bond with them so they don't go down by themselves. They want to take you down with them.
And I gotta just, address you again, Super Seamster. This might not be your channel. Okay, I'm not trying to. Well, no, he said go for the message, not the messenger. It's that whole idea. He's for ADOS. He's for okay, they're gay.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'm just saying for me.
All right.
I am not. I can have a conversation with someone who's homosexual, but you're not my leader. I will never become part of an organization where the head or the person who's promoting the agenda is homosexual. That is going to be a problem. And when I saw that Yvette Carnell is, it's what it is. Yvette Carnell is part of an organization that is supported by a white nationalist who also supports white supremacy. That is very suspect. You can't, the devil is going to have to tell some truth. That's how he gets you. He looks at all your weaknesses and he just takes advantage of them. And they've been taking advantage of us for centuries so that they could get us to this point. So no, I am not going along with anything where.
He's gone now. It'll make a difference.
Well, no, I know she was. He was deleted, and that. Thank you very much, Sister Wendy. Well, for me, I am 100% because I'm so done. I am so done with this tyranny that they're enforcing on us. So sympathy for the devil, I have none. I have none. And those who try to talk anybody into sympathy for sympathizers, I'm done. I'm done because our children are at risk. They're in danger. And so this society can no longer be supported in any way, shape, or form. I think that there's a way to deal peacefully, but we've been talking back and forth, and the brother is convinced he wants to stay with that. So he should stay. He shouldn't be here. And it's irritating to good people. Sister Gwen B is one of the best people I've met up here. So I'm going to speak 100% on behalf of Sister Gwen B. Okay? So he's coming in and he's bringing in that nebulous doctrine. Well, he's just has a gay pride parade once every year or something, once every 2 years. But most of the time he's saying stuff that's okay. So I'm like, I have no support for that.
Dialogue don't threaten me. I ain't worried about that dialogue. Like I said,
well, Sister Gwen said she tried to be patient.
You can't overcome
but he was. You could tell. I could tell when somebody's doing a little bit covert trolling, and he kept asking questions to things that if you've already thought this through in your mind, this is really not a question.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like I said, I'm not even familiar with ADOS, so I don't know.
I know all about ADOS.
I don't know.
It is actually a YouTube thing because there were enough people who called out the Black Lives Matter. And so they had to get a large percentage of Black channels to at least support something that still goes right on back to our oppressors, which is what #ADOS does. But they'll put it out there as if it has something good. But you could do that with Black Lives Matter too, where they have, they're out there, they're trying to talk about Black Lives Matter, even though they really were doing nothing of the sort. They were just ambulance chasing. So they think this is a very fluid oppressor. So he studies us, and he saw that with the YouTube channels that were calling out Black Lives Matter, they scuttled one of their what they hoped to be a very successful way of controlling us as a people. And it was scuttled completely. So they had to come up with a YouTube where now they're going to have a big old conference, which I'm like, who's funding that?
Oh yeah, you the guy. It's easy to tell. Exactly. Look at the
And
money.
that's what
All
I
the money.
asked. And I found out through our family who is funding it. And it's a white nationalist.
Well, we know there's no white finance Black liberation, as Papa Steve Copley told us 20, 30 years ago.
Yes.
Ain't no white finance Black liberation.
That's absolutely true. And thank you, Brother Blackfist. I recognize that. I realize that. But my king he's not like into doing all of this sort of stuff. So he doesn't deal with like a million trolls every single day. And so that he'll recognize the pattern when they start coming out. Yes, Sister Gwen B, definitely beware of stuff funded by other folks, because none of them have our vested interest in heart. Otherwise, they would just tell us, get away from us. That's what they would say. All right. So if anyone has any other questions other than that, I guess we said all that we need to say on this particular topic.
I don't think so.
Oh, I know. Okay. All right. Well, if you got
I don't have nothing to
something.
say right now. I'm just saying,
Oh,
we never
okay.
have enough to say on that topic.
I know.
It's a continued assault.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
assault continues. The assault continues. You got to stay on your toes with this.
And that's it. That's what it's very fluid. They are always changing it because our rise is their fall. It's the end of them. Because how in the world are you going to, I think that's why they hid what they are and what they do for centuries, even from themselves, because there's no justification for putting the children in harm's way, like you have on the walls of Pompeii, where they would have all kinds of debaucherous scenes depicted, and the children were right there.
Yeah, that's just everyday life for them.
Yes.
Debauchery, that was our lifestyle. That's what they're trying to tell you. This is everyday life.
Exactly. So there's no way that you could give children in that kind of a society. And that's probably why they had to have some sort of control over it, because in a society of that wildness, there's no way that you can give children the sanctity of love of the law rather than just fear of the law. In these societies, brutality was a given. The punishments were excessive. In ancient Rome, that's what the whole Roman arena was all about, was they were trying to study how to endure pain and agony, because that was just a natural feature of their lives every single day.
God, can we get some black emoji around here?
I
wish we could just add black emoji to our phones, get all this yellow stuff off our phones.
I know. This one here, they don't allow it. And the emojis are set up in a very
all the faces are
racist
yellow. All
way.
the faces are all yellow. You can't even get a black emoji face.
Yeah.
So we got to find a way to sidestep this white emojis, this yellow Simpsons emoji stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I mean, you can do a black hands for prayer. There's some things you can do with black hands on, but it seems like the smiley face and stuff like that, you can't get black for that.
Yeah, like
it's very weird.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, if you go to the emojis and you click on this yellow right here,
you hold it down,
yeah, and then this will get you. I know most of us do know that, but this will get you some semblance.
Some.
You know,
you
but
can't
and all the black emojis are cordoned off in very insulting borders, so that there we go. Yeah. And then we go dancing.
But your standard smiley faces, you can't get this hard to get black emojis.
Yeah. But if you want to see a couple together, they only come in white. Okay. If they're in love, they only come in white. Okay. And then you could also get the hands emojis. Yeah. But I'm just so you know, this is on purpose. This is how powerful we are. For anybody to be this daggone paranoid.
That's why you can't tell me the software is not racist.
Yes.
Because if the person is racist, the software is going to be racist.
Yes.
And then to come out of it is going to be that way.
Yes.
You just decide. See, the white folks ain't thinking about us. They are thinking about us, but the average white folk ain't thinking about you. Just a
They
side
don't
note.
have to. If they the only time they feel the need to think about us is when we and we are
in their face
saying we have rights as human beings. Then they start to get fearful because they know that theirs have done a number on us. And so they get fearful naturally. How could they not? They know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's why they prefer, can we just leave all that in the past?
Yeah.
You know, like for them, us even asking questions is racist.
Exactly. Because it threatens their view of their worldview.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And their worldview is the only view as far as they're concerned. And that's the way you should make your worldview should be the only view.
Yeah.
But you got to get a worldview first.
Yeah.
You can't have one given to you.
Yes.
They're giving out worldviews to us. That's why we're so confused.
Yeah. And that's why we stay and we're comfortable with just a little flea jar of topics, as if this whole planet and everything that's happening on it doesn't concern us first and foremost. So
Absolutely.
definitely. All right.
Yo,
let's get out of here.
Peace.
Peace. We
family.
love
Thank
you, family, so much.
Thank you for coming by. Listen to us rant and rave. All right. We have to rant another day.
Yeah.
We live to rant another day, God willing.
Woo! Thank you so much, King, for
Thank
coming
you.
through. I love your wisdom. I really do. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Peace, everyone.